We are in the southernmost part of the Sierra Nevada mountains. And I forgot to mention we have a lot of fishing here.
Oh.
Yeah, world-class fishing.
That river is really something beautiful, you know.
It is. And actually it's flowing at about only 200 cubic feet per second right now, but during the summer it gets up to about 6,000 cubic feet per second.
Now, does it do that for the tourists? Is that it?
Well, it's the snow melt. So our headwaters are from Mount Whitney, and so it flows down, and during the summer it gets quite high, and then it goes down during the winter.
Continuing Out and About's coverage of Lake Isabella, we make our way north to Kernville as we toast one of the area's most popular haunts, the Kern River Brewing Company.
You know, basically this is the start of where the beer is made. And you have a mash tun over here. This is basically called a combi tank. So you have a mash tun on the top, hot liquor tank on the bottom, and then you have a brew kettle over here. Basically, the process starts at the top in the mash tun. That's where the grain is basically augered in after it's milled, and then basically that's where the process starts, right there.
Located north of Lake Isabella in the town of Kernville, the Kern River Brewing Company is quite literally a one-man operation. The popular microbrewery and restaurant is well known for its food, lively entertainment, and the thirst-quenching brews that have made it an institution.
Well, basically I started out as a home brewer, brewed in my garage for about 10 years, and decided to turn it from the garage level into production.
From beginning to end here, how long does this process take of brewing all of this beer? Like when you come in and you start it and all that, and to the end?
Well, basically, it depends on the style of beer that you're brewing, but anywhere between 2 weeks to 1 month from start to finish.
What type of beers are there that you would process here?
Well, it depends. We do anywhere from a lighter beer, which is our blonde, all the way to bourbon barrel aged stout, which is our darkest beer. And we do some India Pale Ales, some Pale Ales, ambers.
It seems to me that probably then you would have to have one cycle or one process for each type of beer. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, and that's what the different tanks are for that you see in the background. Each beer is in a different tank, so that's how you get your cycle and your process going. And you know, at different stages, you know, the beer is ready, and then some take a little bit longer depending on, you know, what type of style.
There's like a wooden tank behind you. What is that one for?
These are all fermenters. The wooden ones are just a little bit older style fermenter, but the newer ones are the ones you see behind you right here. But yeah, they're all fermenters, and that's where the fermentation process starts and finishes.
So at this point, that further tank over there is doing what?
That's the mash tun. That's where the process is started, and then as it goes through different cycles, and then it ends up in the fermentation tank.
Where does one get mash?
Basically, we get a bagged grain, malted barley, and we mill it outside, and then it's augered in and then dropped into the mash tun. And that's where, like I said, that's where the process starts.
So a lot of this has to do with timing and temperature. It looks like a kind of a scientific project.
Correct, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, it's really big on your temperature. Timing and temperature is the key.
I also see, I believe, something that looks like a bottling machine of sorts. Can you tell me about that process?
Yeah, so the bottling basically is all done here. Is 22-ounce bottles. It's a 6-head Mahine that we run off of, and it'll put out production-wise. It'll put out anywhere between 60 and 90 cases per hour.
Now, how many people does it take to do all of this?
You know, if we're bottling, it's between 2 and 3 folks. Brewing, it just hit myself, basically.
How long have you been doing this, Kyle?
Well, about 15 years. Yeah, like I said, I started as a home brewer and then moved, you know, on the professional side, but about 15 years.
So it's really ingrained in you.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, definitely.
Well, you live nearby. Have you seen any disturbing events?
Disturbing. I've seen things fly around. That was kind of disturbing, yes. And I actually did see a standing spirit at the gate one day, a little ghost of a child. And then I've seen many, many photographs that show what appear to be standing apparitions, full-bodied apparitions, faces in the windows, balls of light, luminosities, all kinds of crazy stuff that you can't explain.
A sinister shadow extends its icy grip across this peaceful Lake Isabella community. The Silver City ghost town defies the conventions of its idyllic neighbors, enshrouding the area with well-documented cases of ghosts and poltergeist activity.
We're in Silver City Ghost Town near Bodfish, California, which is, of course, close to Kernville and Lake Isabella. And the buildings that you see around us here, there's 21 historic buildings. All of them were moved here back in the 1960s, 70s, and a few in the 80s.
Where'd they come from?
Towns like Clareville, Havilah, Keysville, Old Isabella, Whiskey Flat, South Fork, Miracle, and other Kern Valley frontier towns that don't really exist anymore. If you go to those sites, there's nothing left of them, basically.
So this is a group of buildings from those towns, and it really is a ghost town, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's pretty ghosty, and we have real ghosts, by the way, and it is a composite town, as we like to say, and we kind of keep it in a state of arrested decay.
The main street is composed of classic buildings and key landmarks, all representing the classic components of an authentic Western ghost town.
Well, we have the original Isabella jail right there. We have the attorney at law's office over here, marshal's office. We have the miner's cabin down there. We have the bank behind me, of course. And down at the far end, we have a anvil type shop, you know, and then a saloon and a church. We actually have two saloons, one church.
My first thought would be it has to do with having collected all of these buildings, and I guess if the ghost haunts one of these buildings, they could go traveling around here. They could live here quite nicely.
I think some of them moved in because it looked like a friendly haunt to them.
Oh.
Being all the buildings are moved here, we found out the history of the land, though, is pretty spectacular. It's pretty amazing. It goes back hundreds of years. The Coyasoo Indians use this as a trail to go up in the high country. We have a trifecta of Indian village sites, ancient Indian village sites all around us, one this way and two on each side. So we're like the Bermuda Triangle of the Coyasoo Indians here. We're right in the middle of that. Behind us, burial grounds too, and up on the hill here, there's alleged to be a Chinese graveyard on the top of the hill there. We've never been able to prove that for sure. And the old stagecoach route used to run right by here, and they used to crash at the bottom of the hill. There were shootouts and hangings right across the street, George Bodfish's general store, and lots more. So there's a lot of history right on this land. So my skepticism when I heard that the ghost town might be haunted, I thought, buildings, you know, ghosts don't move with the buildings. Well, I've changed my mind. Some of them may, but say some of them may well have moved into the buildings that were already here.
Besides the resident ghosts, another character who has taken a liking to the place is Izzy, Silver City Ghost Town's mascot.
Izzy is the unofficial tour guide. He's even got his own Facebook page. Izzy, his last name is the Ghost Town Cat, one word. So if you go there, click on him, and then you can find our page too, Silver City Ghost Town on Facebook, and get all the updates on upcoming events and all kinds of great stuff. But Izzy actually walked in on Halloween 4 years ago. He was starving. We fed him. He's been here ever since, and he's known worldwide to be a tour guide and kind of an amazing animal. And he thinks he owns the place, so we don't argue much. You know?
It could be. You were telling me earlier when we were talking about this that he waits for people or sort of herds them around.
He absolutely does. He looks for visitors, and especially visitors with cameras. And he loves to pose for pictures, and he gives people guided tours. I always tell them, here comes Izzy to give you your tour. And they go, ha, ha, yeah, right. And then they come out and they go, that cat really gave us a tour. And I go, he does. He goes from building to building. Oftentimes he'll sit right outside of the doors and wait for them to come out or wait for them to move on. He'll walk down to the next one and he'll wait and do that all around the whole town. And if they cross the street, you know, in a way that's not normal, you know, usually you're supposed to go clockwise according to the guide, you know, the tour guide here. he'll herd them over there and try to get them back into the right direction. It's pretty amazing. It really is. He's an amazing cat.
Even the fearless Izzy thinks twice about venturing into the ghost town's most infamous landmark. This particular structure has a history of bad blood in addition to being a hotbed of recent paranormal activity. We are now in a very special place. Where are we?
We're in Francisco Apalate's house. The Apalate Burlando house is what it's called today. And Francisco raised 17 children in here, went through 3 wives, one by one they passed on, and he remarried right away. And he is supposedly haunting the place today. This building is actually listed number 6 in the nation for poltergeist activity on this old house online's top most 15 haunted sites in America.
I'm just curious as to what time of day or on what occasions he might haunt here.
Day or night, and it's often a woman, we think it may be Maddie or Mary, some people call her Mary Apalate, who haunts the place. She actually predicted her own death, according to legend here, by hearing a hoot owl outside the window. And according to local Kauai Sioux Indian tradition, outside your window is not where you want to hear a hoot owl in the middle of the night. It indicates somebody's going to die in the house. So she told Francisco somebody's going to die, and within 2 weeks she actually passed on. So many people believe she haunts the place.
Well, fortunately, all I heard was a cat.
Well, you never know. One of the incidents that occurred in here was on Halloween, so appropriately enough, many years ago. And when dozens of people witnessed bottles floating in the air and shot glasses getting knocked back like somebody was drinking at the bar behind us. And people actually saw standing apparitions, or walking apparitions, I should say, going through the building and out the other side of the building where there was no door. This was well viewed by dozens of people. So, and I was not one of them, unfortunately. I wish I'd have seen it.
What year was that? Do you know?
That was like 1994 or 1995. Mm-hmm. But many things have happened since. A lot of people report the rocking chair over there rocks by itself sometimes. And some of the mannequins, we usually have mannequins set up in here, but we took them down. They're on vacation right now for a movie shoot that we did here. We left them out and just decided to leave them out for a while. But usually we have all these mannequins, and their eyes follow people. They say sometimes their hands move a little, things like that. I've had some pretty spooky encounters in here myself.
Like that one.
I think that's a cut. What do you think? That's probably a wrap, isn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I guess you have been in this area for some time.
About 17 years, and I actually grew up in Ridgecrest, which is on the other side of the mountains.
This is one beautiful area. What are some of the things that we can look forward to seeing here?
Oh, there's a lot of river rafting during the summer, but during the winter we have skiing, which is only about 20 minutes up the road at Shirley Meadows. And a lot of hiking, a lot of rock climbing. During the winter they actually have snowmobiling. So.
Oh, there's snow, see?
Yes, we have. We only get a dusting here in Kernville, but up in the upper elevations, just about 1,000 feet up, we have quite a bit of snow.
Do you love it here, or am I wrong?
I absolutely love it here. It's been my home for 17 years.